the All Bodies Fitness Podcast, brought to you by certified personal trainer and nutritional consultant Patricia Sullivan and co-founder Patrick Foster. This podcast is intended to motivate, inspire, and educate our listeners. As we explore all topics related to health and fitness, join us weekly for new episodes.
All right, hey, welcome back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Ooh, it's getting close to Halloween.
I know it's the 29th, right?
I think so.
I think it's the 29th of October.
Yeah.
So, guess what? You only have to endure this last session of our fear-based theme.
Ooh, it's going to be a scary one.
It is going to be scary.
Hear that monster in the grave?
Yeah, we got monsters, we got sound effects. There might even be some growling.
Might be. But we want you to fear not change because you need change to get healthy.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
And if you're afraid of changing, then maybe that's something you need to take a look at.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's probably one of the things that's holding you back. It's called limited thinking.
That's
Right?
true.
What is it called?
Yeah, I mean, most people are kind of afraid of change because...
I love the sound effects.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, that's great. Keep it up, Luna.
Yeah, there you go. Most people are afraid of change because, it's part of our nature in a way to like do the same things that produced results that got us to where we are. Right?
Well, I think this is a perfect opportunity to see. We're seeing the trajectory of where our podcast is going. I mean, we cover things like the movement, the nutrition, the mindset, and I guess starting right now we're a little bit more focused on nutrition, and we have a special treat. We can't wait for next week. I wish next week's podcast was already ready to broadcast, but you just have to wait.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a special treat for you next week. And but this week we're going to be talking about this film that we watched. It's called The Game Changers.
Yeah, great documentary. You guys definitely got to check it out, The Game Changers. And I think the website is thegamechangersmovie.com.
Incredible work.
Yeah.
Incredible
It's
work.
on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a Netflix account, I don't know what planet you're from, but somebody who does have a Netflix account can probably add you on as a guest, and
you can go watch it with them. Have a watch party.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
a watch party.
Speaking of watch parties, we should tell them about the contest we have going on right now.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, right. For listening party.
Listening party.
All right, so we love all of our audience. We love all you guys listening to our podcast, and
in all the different countries that you're
we're in
at
7
now.
countries.
Thank you for
Thank you so
tuning in.
much. Yeah, thank you so much. And in order to grow and get that message out there more, we just would love it if you give us a review, a 5-star rating and review, and to help incentivize that. Incentivize. I can't say those words.
I think it's.
Yeah, that's right. You're better at that than me in pronunciation. But in order to help you to do that, we're offering a contest right now. We're trying to get to 100 reviews, 100 5 stars and written reviews. So once we get there, we're going to give away a gift card for Amazon.
It's only because you grew up in New Jersey where they say things like "forget about it."
That's right. We have a large listening audience in New Jersey.
Right?
I love New Jersey.
Yeah.
Forget about it. I don't know if that's really a thing anymore. It was like 20 years ago.
And it's like, it's not like, let's go get some pizza. It's like, let's go get a slice of pie.
Yeah, that's true. They call it a pie, right?
Is that scaring you?
That's scaring me.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary. The monster's trying to get out of the cage.
It is.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, we're giving away a gift card for Amazon, $25, to a random person who enters the contest. And all you got to do to enter is listen to a podcast episode, obviously, and then give us a 5-star rating and write a review, and then email us with the subject Contest 100. So let us know that you did that.
Please, no offense to random people.
That's right. Random people.
We love random people.
No, we're all the star of our own shows.
Right?
In our head, at least, right?
Yeah, right. I hear you.
So please do give us a review if you haven't done that, and tell your friends to do that as well, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome.
All right, back to the topic of our
So, we are talking about James Wilks is the ultimate fighter. He won the title, and he did this documentary. He narrated it, and he was on a mission. He was on a journey because he got injured, and he was looking for ways to improve and speed up his health and recovery. And man, the information that he came across.
Oh yeah, but he spent 1,000 hours reviewing it.
1,000 hours.
Yeah, I mean because he couldn't do his workouts and everything, and it was both knees, right? So he had to sit there and read research about what can I do diet-wise or otherwise to speed up this process of recovery.
And some of the people that he interviewed and some of the people that he brought into this documentary are just amazing. I mean, he himself is amazing. He's the ultimate fighter. Clips from his fights, and he trains Navy SEALs. He is an ultimate fighter. And he, if anybody knows anything about fitness, and he had to reevaluate his own ideas about what was the right diet. And one of the things that he first found out, which was I was like, wow,
yeah,
is he looked back in history to when the gladiators,
the Roman gladiators,
the very, very essence of ultimate fighting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and the scientific proof that they went into to show that gladiators predominantly had a plant-based diet.
Yeah, they were the men of the barley.
They were
men.
not the meat eaters
that
we were trained, or we had to learn from birth that you got to get your protein from meat or whatever.
Yeah.
They and these were killing machines.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
More or less.
Right.
Yeah, they were the barley men, and
that was their nickname, right?
Yeah.
What was it called? The barley beans men or something?
Well, the actual translation was barleys and beans or something.
Yeah.
But
Amazing.
I've heard them called the barley men too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's true. I mean, if you think about those times, the Roman emperors were the Julius Caesar and stuff. They were overweight. They were unhealthy. Because they reserved the feasting for themselves, right? They ate the
all the
cow or
meats,
whatever,
all the choice.
And the people who were healthy and strong, ate the plant-based diet predominantly, very very little meat in their diet, and mostly a lot of plants. Because if you think about it, there's a saying which I love, strong as a what?
Ox.
Right? Isn't that what comes to mind?
That's what comes to your mind, right?
Yeah.
That's what comes to my mind still.
And do we feed oxen cows? No.
Do they eat meat?
No.
Are they meat eaters? No.
They eat plants.
Well, where do they get their protein?
Same place the ox does, right?
What?
From the
Are
plants.
you crazy?
So, I mean, if we eat plants, we're cutting out the middlemen, which are the animals that most people think they have to eat to get the protein. Because the protein comes from the plants. The cows, whatever, eat the plants and it puts it in their muscle, and then we're eating that muscle, so we're getting it second nature, plus a lot of other bad things. So, if you go right to the source of plants, you're getting tons of protein. There's no problem.
Elephants? What?
They're pretty strong,
Some
right?
of the strongest beasts in the earth. Gorillas?
And everybody knows elephants eat steak, right?
Oh, yeah. They eat an elephant steak every day.
They eat plants, right? Yeah, bears predominantly plants, and
that and the science in this documentary, they talk about so many different aspects. But another thing they talk about, even the way that our teeth are made, in our mouths, are not like the canine
of a cat,
or a predominant meat eater. They're for eating vegetables.
For grinding.
Down
yeah, I mean, if you
right?
think about it, I mean, you can't eat a steak without a knife, right?
Yeah, right.
Because we don't have the tools. We're not meant to.
That's so
and,
funny.
and the same thing with our digestive system.
I've seen some people take a steak in their hand and rip it, So it can be done.
Well, I don't think it's not. Yeah, but you don't look at a cow and say, I can jump on its back and just start gnawing away.
No.
I mean, you can't do it. So, I mean, if you look at our digestive system, it's a very long
intestine, right?
It's huge, right? And why?
For a slow process?
Yeah, process all the plants. It's just like a cow has a slow, 3 stomachs or something. I don't know the biology of the cow.
Do they eat a lot of meat?
No. So, but if you look at a cat, like, from your house cat to a lion, they have a very short digestive tract because they eat meat and put it right out. So it's a different. We're more made to eat plants.
So I guess to go along with our scare you theme.
Yeah.
We want you to be a little bit scared.
Well, I
You know?
was scared.
Scared
when I
about
learned
what
it.
you have been taught.
Yeah.
Scared about what you think you have learned all your life. The beliefs that you've held on to. Hey, I'm having to challenge myself. I've had to, in this journey, even look at so much of what I've thought, not only about what I eat, but what I do, what I think. I mean, it's a whole being wellness program, you know?
Yeah, we're leveling ourselves up. We're transforming.
We're in a transformational phase here.
Yeah, because we want the ultimate health too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to help you all.
Yeah. So, and you know, we're not going to just share this with you if we aren't putting it. You know, he's making strong attempts to practice it in our own lives, right?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you know, we had a podcast not so long ago about what the World Health Organization said about Alzheimer's, right? Alzheimer's is something that most people I know are worried about and are scared of it. And, you know, there's different information out there, like aluminum touching your food and all that kind of stuff. I mean, now even the deodorants are aluminum free now. And, you know, but I think what affects us most, if you think about it, is the food we're putting in our body, because the food is the fuel to make every cell. Our cells are constantly remaking themselves.
Right.
So you have to remake it with the material that you're eating.
Yeah.
So if you're going to put junk in there, it's not going to make good stuff. It's going to have more free radicals, which grow cancer and that kind of thing. So if you give it the food that your body's designed to eat, plants, starches, you know, people are afraid of starch. And I live predominantly on rice and whole wheat pasta and stuff. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
And if you feel a sense of barrier in your thinking and resistance towards absorbing this information, or that you don't want to believe that this could be, you know, true, it could be that it's coming against the teaching and the learning that you've had all of your life. You know, people from your parents through, you know, school and, you know, just your own experience, and, you know, and
it takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while to absorb it. Yeah, you got to have an open mind. And, you know, there's a great, I don't know where the proper comes, Dr. Wayne Dyer said it once, is that, you know, you should have an open mind and an attachment to nothing, you know, so that you can be open to anything and listen to different opposing sides. I mean, I know a lot of people that are keto and like protein, and it's like, well, I'll listen to them, but I know the truth. You know,
that scares me more.
You can lose weight on it, but it's not healthy.
You can lose your weight.
You can lose weight on toilet paper diet. People soak toilet paper in orange juice and eat. I've heard of this diet. Soaking toilet paper in orange juice and only having that to fill your stomach up. Well, I guess you're getting some fiber. I don't know what the heck that would do to you, but I would worry about the chemicals in the paper. Right? But, I mean, you can lose weight on a lot of different ways.
Is it unscented toilet paper?
Is any toilet paper scented?
I guess there probably is.
I don't know. Well, you probably just gave Charmin a good idea. But, I mean, it's what's going to produce the healthy results. I mean, you know, just look at all these diseases that didn't happen so many years ago. Cancer was not so predominant when I was a kid, you know, 50 years ago. Diabetes, type 2 diabetes, they didn't call it that back then. They called it adult diabetes. And now kids get it.
Yeah, that's sad. It's very sad. I mean, we have a serious problem that, you know, that we're dealing with, because we're bombarded by so many different ways of what is best, you know, to live. What is the best nutrition to have? What is the best thing to put into your body? You know, right? You know, just everybody's got their opinion. I mean, even now, you know, I myself got sucked into the whole idea of, you know, when this, you know, the plant-based meats craze is, is still going on. You know, even Dunkin' Donuts, you know, is like, yeah, come on in, you know, Burger King, you know, come on in, get your meatless burger, you know. And I was like, man, and it was good. It does taste good. So good.
And that's what I said when we reviewed it on the YouTube channel, is that I'm glad that they have it as an alternative and a stepping stone for people, but it is not a healthy food.
Yeah, it is. It's not.
It's got tons of oil in there. Right. You know, and it's very high in fat. If you look at the fat content, it's like 30% or more.
It's better than, maybe in a lot of respects, than what we might have chosen otherwise if we didn't have
possibly,
you know,
because of chemicals and that kind of thing. They're in some of the meats and all that. But you know, it's not a health food. But you know, it's just like I said, I'm glad it's out there so people could have a stepping stone, because I went, mostly vegan, and there's no vegan police. I cheat every now and then by having ice cream out or something, yeah, I don't get arrested, but but I went mostly vegan for the most part, when my daughter was 6 or five, and she's 11 now, so that's 6 years ago. And I remember the transition was really bizarre to me because, coming from a personal trainer where we're told like, protein and protein shakes and milk and all that stuff.
Protein.
Yeah, whey protein. And then finding out that whey and the casein of the milk is not good for you. And then stopping dairy first, and that was like blowing my mind. So I'm like, really? Am I going to throw away the milk that's in my house?
Well, one of the key things about the dairy products is that they create inflammation.
Yeah, they create inflammation, but also there's a cancer risk there. Yeah. And we may get in trouble for saying that, but science is showing it.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that somebody could do right away is just start cutting out some of the dairy.
Yeah.
The dairy. I mean, there's so many strategies to starting to implement a healthier way of living, and we want to help guide you through that. And we've been taking steps, and we've been practicing, and we've had good results.
Well, yeah, it's always a journey, right? I mean, it's never all or nothing, right? I mean, there's a lot of debate with, people don't like the word vegan because, it's associated with people that are for animal rights, and people get upset about that because some of them are a little extreme, and that kind of thing. And so it became, plant-based diet, whole foods plant-based diet. But then whole foods plant-based diet can incorporate meat. And that's still a pretty healthy diet if you have a little bit of meat in there, right?
Yeah.
So, what other people are going towards and what we are is a whole foods plant exclusive diet.
Like that.
Yeah. It's a lot to say though.
And speaking of exclusive, let's take a quick break, and we'll give you some exclusive information about that. We'll be right back.
Hey, we hope that you're enjoying this podcast, and as a special free bonus for our listeners, Patricia is going to tell you about our amazing 7-day workout challenge.
That's right. Do you want to feel energized and jazzed up for your day? You don't have to go to a gym to speed up your metabolism. With our 7-day challenge, you'll get a 15-minute exercise video emailed to you at 5 a.m. each of the 7 days. We'll encourage you and work on your mindset as we work on your muscles. Join us at allbodyfitness.click. That's CLICK.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back. You said it so fast.
I know. Well, this is the last scary thing. Boo! So.
No, but back to
try going to sleep on that, Gina.
Yeah, really good. That's right. One of our listeners, or sister Jeannie.
My sister-in-law. I love her.
She's
likes going through a tough time, and we, as a lot of us are at this time of the year, a lot of stress. We're dealing with, right?
Stress is bad.
So.
But yeah, I mean,
we want to,
I don't
help, inspire people to.
That's right.
Live a little, laugh a little.
Yeah, well, it's all in moderation sometimes, because, nobody can be perfect 100% of the time. And, just like, I'm a personal trainer and I like to work out, but are there days where I just want to lay on the couch and do nothing? And do I indulge that way sometimes?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? So don't worry about the labels.
I didn't want to do this podcast 3 hours ago.
Oh, I know. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning.
Right? So here we are, and it's like, there is something to the idea of knowing that you have control over the decisions you make.
That's right, yeah. Where the monsters come back.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. That monster.
That's
Scary monster.
Maybe she's just agreeing with me.
But yeah, you have choice. You have choice of what you put in your body.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information out there to try and confuse you because at the end of the day, it's all about money, right?
It is.
The tobacco companies did not want to give up the information that tobacco causes cancer and all the other things because they wanted to keep the money, right? And same thing with a lot of these other industries, the dairy, the milk, the egg, all these different industries. They don't want to give up the idea that, it's bad for you, especially the way people consume it nowadays.
Yeah, they
because they make money. Yeah,
they hid studies.
Yeah, I mean they make money doing it, and they'll fund studies to show the contrary, right? Yeah. But we have to know the truth, and we have to look at history as an example, and watch this movie, The Game Changers, because it shows the real history, the real science. I'm not a scientist, Patrick's not a scientist, but but we've learned enough about this that we understand that it's important.
Doctors, the documentary covers so many different types of people that have There's one guy that did the Appalachian Trail.
Mhm.
He did it like in a record time,
Only on plants.
only on plant-based diet.
Yeah.
This guy who is the ultimate strongman. He has multiple world records for being the strongest man in the world. I mean, and he's a beast.
Yeah.
And he's totally vegan.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Patrick
Yeah.
Baboumian? Not sure how to say that.
Baboumian.
Baboumian?
I don't even know how to say it.
He's
but
amazing.
I want to say barbarian because he looks like a barbarian.
And
He's
he carried over like 1,200 pounds across
Yeah.
the stage for the world record. I mean,
Yeah, the world record. Yeah.
on plans. So,
Yeah. They even show that in the documentary. They show him breaking the world record in the documentary.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And then
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the movie. I love Arnold.
Yeah.
And he's learning
learning
that
about the
he's
vegan
going
diet.
towards, and he's on a journey because, like I said, it's not always all or nothing, and it's not easy to change overnight for a lot of people. It's a journey. It took me about 6 months before I kept looking at my plate saying, where do I put the chicken? Or where's my chicken? I need some chicken. You know what I mean? And then I realized, I don't need the chicken. Just put more of the other stuff. Okay.
To be honest, you wouldn't even be listening to this if you weren't on somewhat of a journey. If you were looking for a way to improve your life and improve the quality of your life and feel better about yourself and your well-being,
and avoid a lot of diseases because, it's not natural to say, I'm over 40, I need to be on medication for my cholesterol, my blood pressure, my heart, ED, all these different things. It's not natural to say I need medication now for the rest of my life because I'm over 40. You don't need it. It's because of what you're putting in your body, you're trying to make up for it.
I like that. Reminds me of that ad you saw about the doctor becoming a new patient. That was so funny.
Yeah. There was a flyer that came to the house, and it was like for a doctor in the neighborhood saying, "Become a new patient." And I'm like, why would I want to be a patient?
I know, right?
I don't want to be anybody's patient.
I don't want to be a patient.
I take care of myself.
Right. Why do we need to have a patient?
If I go to a doctor, they're going to try and find something wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with me. And that's true. We can live. There's studies. Read the book, The Blue Zones. There's studies out there that show the people that live 100+ years on a regular basis are eating primarily a vegetarian, vegan diet. And there's reasons for that.
The China study.
The China study. There's so many things. Watch the movie Forks Over Knives as well. That's what first influenced me all those years ago. And I was like, wow, I need to change, because I drank milk 3 times a day with meals, plus, in coffee and cereal every day. I had a lot of milk in me, and I gave it up, and I don't touch it now. And I think of it as poison.
Yeah.
Well,
information is plentiful, but information without action is just going to, keep you in the same dead-end street that you're in right now.
Your body can't process certain things, and it's not meant to, and so you should listen to your body, and, you give things a try and see how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, the documentary,
So
The Game Changers.
You can implement.
The Game Changers documentary shows that, James Wilks, he did not believe it at first.
No, he didn't, did he?
He's like, what? And, he was recovering, and he saw that he was doing better, and then once he was able to go to the gym, he couldn't do certain things because he's still recovering, but he did the ropes, right?
Oh, my gosh, that was such an incredible story.
You got to see the movie.
Oh, man. Yeah. Should we give it away? No.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I guess we can give it away a little bit.
Yeah, because...
But have you ever been to the gym and you've got these long ropes? They're probably about...
heavy ropes.
They're heavy ropes. They're probably in circumference about, 2.5 inches at least.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
people
a couple
do this
of them,
kind
and
of thing with
they
them.
go back and forth,
Yeah.
and they're probably... You can't see that on the podcast. You can't see me moving my hands, can you?
Well, people have seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
But I think everybody's seen that for the most part. But the time...
But they're about 20 feet long.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the length is.
Maybe
Yeah.
not that quite, but
They're pretty long. And they're heavy, and, it's meant for you to get
But try doing
cardio.
those for a few minutes. You'll be able to tell that
Yeah,
you're,
it's
man,
hard.
this is heavy.
Yeah. And I
It's really
think
heavy.
the gym that he was going to regularly had, if you
A
did...
board with with records on there.
People that could do 10 minutes, they get their name on the board. If they did 20 minutes, they get their name on the board. And he, after switching his diet...
Switched his diet first.
Yeah,
right?
to this, to the plant-based.
And then he wanted to test it out.
Yeah, and he was able to do, and he said in the past he was only able to do about 8 minutes. So he never got on the board. And now he was over an hour. I don't remember exactly how long, but I know it was like crazy.
Amount of time.
Yeah.
So they show that in the documentary.
Yeah.
You got to check it out. Definitely worth it. Another thing is in regards to like a whole slew of people on a football team,
Mhm.
you know, that
The
changed their
Titans.
diet, and
The
they
Titans,
ended
yeah.
up going to the playoffs and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a doctor on there that talks about a doctor that not coached, but was the physician for teams that have won the
World Series,
World Series
and football too, yeah.
and football Super Bowl, and he was, you know, coaching them and teaching them about, you know, more of a plant-based diet, you know, and that kind of thing. So I mean, just phenomenal science and backed up facts.
Yeah,
you know?
and results.
And
Because
results,
let's
yeah.
face it, at the end of the day, you know, science can say whatever we want, but if people are experiencing these results and they can tell you that, yeah, I feel better, I feel stronger, and I have my cholesterol lowered down to a very healthy level. Our monster's in the cage right now.
Is that you? Or maybe that's you growling. Is that your mind growling right now saying, I don't want to listen to this. This isn't true.
People
right?
don't want to believe
They
it
don't want to
sometimes
believe it.
because we don't like the change.
Baloney on this.
People
Really?
are afraid of change, but, you know, and I was afraid of change too, but, you know, sometimes you got to do what, there's a point where
So
things,
afraid of what you're going to lose out on, what you're
Yeah.
having to give up.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Right?
I want my health to be perfect as much as possible.
Instead of focusing on what you're going to get.
Yeah, well, you know, because, you know, let's face it, at the end of the day, you want to feel good and you want to enjoy your food.
What's it going to
And,
take?
you know, it's not like you have to go to Brussels sprouts and spinach leaves raw and just eat that and hate your food. No, there's lots of yummy foods. I mean, rice and beans is yummy, right?
It is.
And that's a healthy food. You know what I mean? And, you know, there's nothing wrong with stuff like that.
I mean,
People-
we've talked about so many different things. You can add some vinegar to you know, flavor, taste. I mean, different
Well,
spices.
spices
you know,
is what
yeah,
really
all
makes it.
different
I mean,
things.
I never had tofu before a couple years ago, and now I love it. And, you know, if you spice it the right way, you end up liking it. And, you know, oatmeal is a great food, and, you know, most people don't have a problem with oatmeal. So
And
I
you
like
can
to start
add
that.
some of the, you know, like you can add goji berries to it. You can add, you know,
Blueberries and different,
yeah, blueberries are good. Yeah, some nuts, you know, whatever. You know, you can really do so much with this healthy, you know, nutritional diet than what you would even imagine. Luna agrees. Luna agrees. Or she's trying to scare you off. I'm not sure. Or maybe you're scaring yourself.
Well, I mean, that should be a note there, is that, you know, I think a dog can become vegan if you want to, but a cat...
What do you think about that, Luna? Would you like to become a
She loves
herbivore?
my vegetarian soup and rice. She
Yeah.
does. Yeah. But you cannot make your household cat vegetarian or vegan because they need meat. So don't make that mistake and hurt your animals. So that's the only meat in my house is for my cat.
Right? I mean, I really... There was so many other. Who else was on this besides him? We had
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's on his journey to become more.
The lady who won the world record. She was in the Olympics, right?
Mhm.
And she was the oldest woman, or just the oldest person that had won a
Can't
medal.
remember.
But anyway, you can watch that.
Yeah.
She was a bicyclist in the Olympics, and she was like one of the oldest winners.
We know the part that really sticks out in my mind in
It's
the movie
incredible.
was the doctor that, you know, worked with the Titans and
Oh yeah.
experimented with by giving them green burritos and how fast your blood changes.
Oh wait! Oh my gosh! Are you going there?
Yes,
Are
I'm
you really
going
going?
there.
Oh my gosh! Well, you did bring up the ED dysfunction, so I guess,
Well, that's the first sign. People
Alright.
think, you know, if I have erectile dysfunction.
you can say it, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, I mean, for
Yeah.
adults, right?
Yeah.
It's a medical condition. You know, why is that? It's because the blood's not circulating well because of the food you're giving it is giving you sludge blood, right? And as a doctor, that shows that by even one meal how people have changed.
They actually did a scientific study in the
study.
documentary
Mhm.
that showed these three men who went through.
Athletes.
Yeah,
Football
they're
players.
professional athletes,
Yeah.
and they went through this process of being able to have their sleeping pattern evaluated, and how parts of their bodies moved in the process of their sleep.
Well, yeah, it's
And,
natural
the
in the
natural,
night.
yeah, so-
in the night to get ebbs and flows there,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So down there in the nether regions.
Okay.
And it showed how plant-based meal, just from one meal change, had so many more of those natural functions.
I love this back, feeding. It's like, man, here it is, Halloween, scary stuff, man, scary stuff. I just think that this whole conversation is getting a little bit scary.
It's scary to you.
Yeah, a little scary. I mean, but also on the flip side of that, it did show unequivocally. Ooh, put a word, right?
Mhm.
Unequivocally, that when they ate the meat,
Mhm.
that they had reduced performance.
Yeah.
They had reduced everything.
Yeah.
I
Well,
should
even
say.
they showed the blood because they drew the blood after 2
Right.
meals.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it shows how much your blood's
The
affected.
blood, the blood sample that was all murky from
Yeah.
having eaten the meat, and
Yeah.
it was all clear
Mhm.
from when they had
The bean burrito
bean
instead.
burritos.
Yeah. So it's
Incredible.
I mean, it's watch the movie and decide for yourselves. Don't listen to us. What do we know? But I mean, I know it works for me, and it's working for you,
It
right?
is working for me. I mean,
And it's helped my sister get over some autoimmune diseases like colitis, and everybody that I know that switches to a plant-based diet like this has healthier results.
I mean,
So,
people that have just taken steps to eliminate even just the dairy to start
Mhm.
with
that
have
helps.
seen results. People that have cut out if you cut out sugar, you cut out you have to work at experimenting
Mhm.
what's going to be best for you.
For you, yeah.
And you're going to find your path. I mean, you're going to find what works. But first of all, you have to realize and know within yourself whether or not you want to change. I mean, are you?
That's true.
I mean, if you're okay with where you are, then there's nothing that we could say
Well,
that
I
would
don't know
ever.
why they would listen.
I don't even know why you'd be listening. You're probably not even listening. So I'm talking to an audience that isn't even listening to this.
But I mean, most people are hungry for a change, and that was a movie that first inspired me too. Because they don't feel good, and they don't look the way they want. It depends on what bothers you most. To me, I want to look good, obviously, but even more importantly is I want to feel good.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be on any medication, and I want to live long and prosper. I sound like Spark.
But I gotta say, looking and seeing the difference does help boost you
Yeah,
in a
that's
way.
true.
I mean, I can look at myself now and I can see a difference.
Mhm.
I can feel a difference. So I know, I mean, I was on the scale this morning. I'm down to about a little over 168 and maintaining that weight.
And you're like, what, how tall?
But I was 5'10.5", but now I'm older, so I've shrunk.
So say 5'10".
I'm not 5'10".
But still, that's getting to be a very good healthy weight, really,
Right.
because studies have also shown that the less body fat you have on you, the longer animals live.
Right. So
So-
I mean, I mean, especially when I look at where I was a little over a year ago, it was like over 200 pounds, almost 200. What was it? 203 pounds or something like that? 210 or 12. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I've lost about 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 203.
Yeah.
So, and then recently, within the last couple months, we set like some goals, and like we were like holding ourselves accountable to push towards, we wanted to lose like 10 pounds or whatever it was. And I did, and I've lost that. And now I'm maintaining that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of the choices that I've made, but it comes really from having opened my mind to the information that was available to me.
By not fearing it.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the change that's going to occur, and don't be afraid of making a decision to try something different.
Yeah, because I mean, the worst that happens, you try and you don't like it, or it
Right.
doesn't work for you, or whatever.
Nobody's going to hold a gun to your head and
Yeah,
say, you've got
seriously.
to stick with this.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't want to be like the dodos with our heads in the sand that are extinct now either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we want to do what's best for our health and our longevity, and longevity of everybody we love and our planet too.
That documentary, the biggest takeaway for me that shows that this works is just look at those gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many gladiators? There was like they did over 60 tests on different
Bones and remains and all that. Yeah.
all that stuff that showed that predominantly they had a vegetarian diet, and they were the elite fighters of their day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, people used to say,
Top shape.
when I was a kid, it'd be like, oh, rice isn't good for you. And I still hear that, and it makes me laugh because, was 1 billion people in China wrong? Because they eat rice all the time. Their
Right.
greeting is, have you had your rice today? So how can it really be bad for you? Just think for yourselves. Don't think of what the media, doctors, pharmaceuticals, meat industry try and tell you. Think of what's real. I mean, does it make sense that all those people They're not sick and healthy.
And look at what's happened when the Western diet was introduced.
Now
to
they're
the
starting to
Asian
get
culture,
unhealthy. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I
Now they
mean-
have McDonald's there. Now they get.
I mean, let's not keep our eyes blinded to the idea. I mean, everybody. I can remember loving to go to all the fast food and all
Well, me
that
too.
stuff.
When I was a kid, yeah.
and eating whatever I wanted, and the thing is though is that if you're younger, this may or may not resonate with you depending on how
You may have time.
you feel like I got plenty of time to change or whatever. But let me tell you, change happens quickly over time,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden you're trying to get ahead of it,
Well, we
and
hear about
you're way behind.
We hear people in their 30s now getting cancer and things like that, and that's
I
scary.
know,
and there's
we do
kids that have cancer, that have type 2
And
diabetes.
And we believe that it's probably we believe that there is a preventable way
Mhm.
of eliminating some of these possibilities for disease because of I just look at how I've lived and the choices I've made in my diet and the way that I've made a lot of bad choices, and I've it's surprising to me that I'm still standing or sitting. Well, I'm sitting right now, but, that I'm still above ground anyway, and I'm really fortunate, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to change even more,
and to help you all change.
and to help other people see that they don't have to wait until they have a dire need to change.
Mhm.
You don't want to do that.
No.
That isn't what prompted me primarily. I mean, it wasn't out of a dire necessity that I decided to change, and thankfully, and I'm grateful for that, because what that shows me is that you don't have to be in a dire need to change. Okay, so people that I'm trying to reach are people that are considering and looking at their own mortality. They're looking at that, hey, there's the possibility that that the way that I'm going in my lifestyle now is not going to produce very good results. Of course we're all going to die, and I love that story that story about the vegan who died, and they lived their whole life eating everything that they could that was healthy for them,
Yeah.
and just to end up in the hospital and dying of nothing. Because we all are going to die.
Well, I know, but I'd rather choose my death of dying in my hundreds peacefully in my sleep in my home.
Yeah.
Than dying on a ventilator in a hospital with a lot of tubes and blah, blah, blah. And, that kind of thing. I don't want to die that way. I want to die peacefully in my sleep when my body has exhausted itself, my vehicle, and my spirit can go on to somewhere else.
And and we have what we believe is the information that is going to help people to not only prevent disease or to reduce the possibility of the disease, but also even possibly reverse it.
Yeah.
Even with diabetes type 2.
Yeah, even with MS, there's some studies talking
Oh,
about.
I know. I hear you barking out there. I know. You're saying, "Nah, this can't be. It's not real." No, it's not going to work for me. Not going to work for me. Or I'm just, I'm too scared to take that step.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Be fair. Be brave, right?
take the courageous action that you
That's
need.
what I wanted to say. I couldn't come up with the word.
Well, here we are,
Yeah.
helping you to get motivated and inspired to take the next courageous action
Mhm.
towards better well-being for yourself.
Yeah, and our friends.
Weather well-being? Did I say?
Better.
I almost said weather well-being. Better well-being.
There you go. That's great. And next week we start our topic.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
next
we're
week,
really excited about it. Yeah.
woo!
We're gonna interview
One of the
executive producers.
there were many executive producers in this documentary film, The Game Changer,
Mhm.
but right here locally
In Northern Virginia.
in Northern Virginia is a restaurant owner named
Gwen Whitaker.
I want to say Gail. Why did I say Gail? Gwen Whitaker.
And
I'm
her
sorry.
restaurant is a Green Fair.
I'm sorry,
Organic-
Gwen.
Green Fair Organic Cafe, and Fair is spelled Fare.
Yep.
So
And
check it out.
you can check it out at
Yeah, it's really.
greenfair.com.
We're eating there tomorrow night.
Yeah, actually, it's an
Yeah.
Italian buffet that's
Yeah.
totally vegan.
I'm so excited.
I mean, that even just like, is that twisted in your own mind? Like, think Italian food that's vegan. What? No meatballs. What? Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But the interview, I mean, in this interview, she talks a little bit about the Game Changer, and she talks about you know, the things that the programs that Green Fair provides, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, so definitely check that out next week as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Excellent.
Look
Woo.
forward. I wish that we could just keep going. I didn't want to do this podcast 3 hours ago, but now I don't want to stop. But we have to. We have to. For the sake of time and for your ears. And your fears.
There you go. Ooh. Always tell them
Go get them.
That's right. We should tell them a Halloween joke.
Okay. Oh, you know my favorite joke this past week is,
What's
right?
that?
How do you go and have a party in outer space?
How?
You plan it.
That was in that movie, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
I thought it was at Gracie's or her.
Oh,
her
you're right.
vocal
You're right.
thing.
Yeah. You're
Was
right.
there another joke in the movie?
No, but that's a good one. You played it.
Yeah, I love that. All right, people.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If we added value for you, please let us know. Give us a rating, leave us feedback, or email us at info@allbodiesfitness.com. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any